Hello everyone, my name is Xiaopei Hu. Today I will talk about climate change. Climate change to the global environment and ecology will have a significant impact. Could treat human survive environment. So the study of global climate change to protect the Earth's ecology and human survive environment has important significance, so that the cases and consequences of climate change and the reasons of argument with the subject. The cases of climate change from many aspects. We can divide it into two sides, the nature cause and the human-made causes. The nature cases have two main factors. One is the Earth's rapid change. This change makes the distance between the Earth and the Sun becoming closer. It will affect the loss of the changing seasons, thus affecting the climate change. Another nature case is a volcanic eruption. After a volcanic eruption, the upper air discharge and dust, the massive survived aerosol can reach a stratified. They can be significantly reflect the sun's radiation, making it the lower atmospheric cooling. Human activities contributed to the climate statement change. The human-made causes including population increase, greenhouse gas emissions, forest extinction, and so on. The main cause of the climate change is the human-made causes. The dangers of climate change will lead to rising sea levels, affect agriculture and the ecological environment, affect human health, and so on. So, what can we do to protect the climate change? Different groups have different behaviors. As the students, we can do the biggest use is telling the people around us the dangers of climate change and call on them to join us to protect the environment and reduce the greenhouse gas emissions, such as organizing groups to send out the leaflets, developing the discussing groups who are interested in introduce relevant technology and the knowledge. As the university, it can develop relevant classes and introduce to students about the cases and the consequences of climate change. The function of education is great. Once the students understand the importance of the climate change, generation will consciously protect the environment, reduce their carbon behavior, As the business, especially the industry enterprise, the industry enterprises as the biggest source of carbon emissions. It plays an important role in the climate change. Using the new technology and agri-resources are becoming important ways to protect climate change, such as use the sun's energy and low carbon technology or advanced machine to reduce carbon emissions. All these can efficiently protect the climate change.
The Simple Show explains the carbon footprint. This is you. You've probably been hearing a lot about climate change and how you should reduce your carbon footprint. But what is that exactly? Just like an actual footprint, it's a mark you leave upon the environment. No, not with your shoes, but with every action that releases carbons. Those are the harmful gases, such as CO2, which are pumped out by burning fossil fuels like oil or gas. The more fuel you use, the bigger your footprint will be. You may think that by driving your car, the only carbons you release come from the engine, but no. Consider the carbons that are emitted just to get fuel into the tank. From the energy needed to extract the oil from underground, the pollution caused by transportation and refinement, to the final delivery to your local petrol station. Not to mention the CO2 released by manufacturing your car in the first place. More than you thought, huh? So unless you live in a cave, you and everything you own has its own carbon footprint. Read a book? Printing and distributing. It uses energy. Brush your teeth, and your utensils will have a history in a factory. Even something as basic as an apple could have traveled hundreds or even thousands of polluting miles to end up in your local supermarket. You see, it's pretty much impossible to leave no carbon footprint behind, but that's no reason to stop trying. Think about your actions and choices, and you'll be able to reduce your personal mark after all. That's how you really put the boot into climate change.
For myself, I think protect the climate change and keep low carbon behavior are important. I have my own personal carbon behavior, such as walking to school every day without driving cars or by taxi. However, just this, I think, is not enough. After I studied the climate change, I planned in the after days. I will reduce the times of using the heating and join in the volunteering of planning trains. I think attend more volunteering about protect the environment and reduce carbon behavior is great and meaningful. Also, one person's strength is little. However, if more and more people join us and devote themselves to protect the environment, I believe we can have a better living environment and a better world.